as the new chair and commission, we will ensure that internally we put our house in order. That if there are any challenges that the post-election evaluation report identifies, if there are any challenges that our partners and stakeholders, for example, through the political parties liaison committee, if there are those challenges that they identify, it's our responsibility as duty bearers to put in place measures to rectify those, so that then we perfect our system. Chair, also, in terms of those incidences of malpractices that sometimes make the system appear not to be working, I think Kenyans, I would ask us to trust that in this new IBC, when we identify cases of malpractices, we should be able to punish those. We should be able to take action in terms of working with the relevant government institutions to investigate and bring those perpetrators to book. So, Chair, I think that is the much.
Will you run away to South Africa if you buggle the election and you leave us fighting one another?
Chair, this is my country and I love it very much. That is why I came back, and that is why I want to continue serving it in this.
Why are you working in South Africa?
I'm working currently with African Union, which you know we are member state, and we're also doing things to actually, for example, the programs that we are doing is to support countries emerging from crisis and conflicts and that are going through governance transitions like Gabon and Mozambique and stuff like that. So it's equally important work.
You manage in South Africa itself, which seems to have its own peculiar problems with races.
Yes, of course, there are challenges of governance there as well. But for me, when if called upon to serve my country, this is my priority, and it will be my pride.
Thank you very much. In the remaining 10 minutes, please take the other questions very fast. They were precise.
It's a very important question.
Yeah, but for purposes of that transparency of the electoral process itself, how much are you willing to spend, or rather commit yourselves into technology? Because a country like India with 800 million voters, by 5:36 you already know the results. It's nothing. It's you can get that all over. You can buy those packages of that technology, and it's the cheapest thing when you compare it to the kind of cost we have in Kenya. But that way you can even be looking at the screen and seeing how well a party or an individual or a candidate is doing. How much are you willing to invest in that technology for purposes of that?
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Farah. I think technology, our elections have come of age, from the Mulolongo to the secret ballot to the manual, and now to the integration between manual and the electronic. What we can do is to take it even higher, to look at what are the emerging technologies, to look at what is out there. So my role as the leader of that commission is to sit down with the experts to understand what is new. I've seen even some young Kenyans circulating some apps that they have come up with, a system where you can do electronic election monitoring from your phone. So we need to bring all these actors together, our young, vibrant youth, the tech companies, and of course working under the guidance of this parliament to be able to see how can we up our game. What is new? How can we improve things from 2022 to 2027?
Question number 2.
Yes, it's a very important question, Honorable Chair, from my learned senior, Honorable Otiende Amolo, MP for Arieda, and I think, and Honorable Daud, regarding my suitability. I would like to, when we finish law school, for those of us who went to law school, you finish your first degree. Normally, you can choose to go to the Kenya School of Law and to pursue a career.
Law school is which one?
To the Kenya School of Law.
Which is law school in Kenya? The School of Law or the university you go to?
You finish the university, yes. You go to the Kenya School of Law under the Council for Legal Education. And then once you're admitted as an advocate, you can decide to go to court and be a practicing lawyer advocate in court, or you can decide to pursue your career in academics. And so for me, when I finished my law school and I got admitted, I'd worked already for 1 year in a law firm. And then I worked, as I mentioned to you, in Parliament. And part of our work, which I was responsible for, was to do research into policies and legislations from when Kenya became independent. So we compiled that, what you call parliamentary policy and legislative briefs. So that's work I did for roughly 2 years. After that, I worked at the National Commission on Human Rights, doing legal work. My work was legislative drafting, research, policy, and a very important role that I think maybe most people did not appreciate in this country was that my role was to look at legislative proposals, and from the AG before they go to Parliament, my role was to infuse international human rights standards into our legislation. So I did that work for 3 years, and honorable members, when I proceeded to join the United Nations, the work of the United Nations, as I've said, is to serve and to work for national government institutions with them. And my specific role was also centered on providing leadership at the Kenya.
As a point of order, because the nominee is answering my question, I'd like the nominee, you have a copy of the Constitution, to open Article 166, 3B. So that please answer that question with reference to that section very shortly.
Justifying your great academic achievements.
Honorable Chair,
are you qualified to be the chairperson?
Yes, Honorable Chair, because I have spent over 15 years doing legal work, mainly in the field of human rights. And last year, Honorable Chair, for the record, I was actually shortlisted and I did interviews for the High Court judge, for which I was not successful, but that's when I continued.
The requirement is not spending 15 years doing some work. What exactly is the requirement? For you to be chairman, you must be? What does the law require you to be?
Article 166. 3B.
First, with what is your requirement
specific
after the constitutional provision where we have IBC 88? The chairperson must be. After that, tell us whether you're qualified under the two provisions, 88 and 166.
Chair and members, I am qualified because I'm a legal practitioner in the field of human rights and human rights law, with specialization in international human rights.
Does 88 say a person qualifies to be chairperson if you're qualified to be a judge of the Supreme Court?
For
I don't know.